Good evening, my Rosalynds. Today I want to touch on toxic mothers. I want to touch on how us exoticals deal with toxic mothers, especially the brown/dark skin exoticals, and how we deal with unambiguous black mothers for some of us who have them, you know, and how it just really messes with you, your self esteem, your interactions with others, with other women, and just like everything. And I think I'm going to do a series on this possibly because, to be quite honest, I have a toxic mother, a toxic, unambiguous black mother. And it's just a lot. And when I say my mother, again, as you guys know, I am adopted, but she's my mother. She raised me since I was 8 months, and I love her very much. But there's just something wrong here. Okay. And what inspired me to make this video tonight is Exoticals United's video. And the video, I was just listening to some of it. It's called My Mom Cussed Me Out at a Wedding. Exotical Story Time. She posted this like 2 days ago. Um, and it's on her channel if you want to see it. I have the picture here to show everyone. So you can go there and subscribe too if you're into content like this. But, for more of an insightful type of channel, she's very insightful. But looking and listening to that story, I couldn't help myself. I have to make this video. So I'm going to play a tidbit of it, and then I'm going to touch on something recent that literally just happened to me when I went back home to visit my mother after she had fallen sick.
She was a devil in disguise. Growing up, she always chastised me for trying to be cute. She would cut my hair like clockwork because all that long hair is too grown. You're trying to be fast. I was never allowed to wear skirts or dresses unless to church. I wasn't allowed to wear high heels and no makeup, even just a little bit. Lip gloss, even just Vaseline, was being too fast. What does that even mean?
Okay, so that was a little snippet I took from Exoticals United's video about Exotical sharing her story time of her jealous, hating, narcissistic mother. And the reason that really touched me is because I was sharing on my channel, in one of the comment sections, me and another exotic were talking about how, we don't really trust people with our beauty. And I had mentioned that when I was on my way to junior prom, when I was in high school, my unambiguous black mother literally shaved off a whole goddamn eyebrow, damn near. It was literally a line. I'm not making this up. It was literally a line left. And when she was shaving it, because I asked her, hey, can you please like fix my eyebrows a bit better and whatnot, you know? Because my eyebrows grew back fast. And she was like, sure, I got it. And then she did it. And then I looked at it and I was like crying because I looked terrible. And she was like, well, I'm never going to do your eyebrows again. Don't ever ask me again. You're so dramatic. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on now. Literally, out of all the times you can pull this stunt, it's the day that I go to junior prom. And not only that, I was also running in the court for my junior prom. And I was really, within the court of the candidates. So for me, hell yeah, I'm really, really, really freaking out. And at that time also I was very insecure already. So that didn't help anything. And then recently I went back home to visit my parents, literally like last week, and when I went back there to see them, she was sick. She had unfortunately a stroke, but she's better now, thank God. And I went there, and as I told you before, my father, he is well, I don't know if I told you this, but he's a pastor. So I went there, and on that Sunday, right before I came back to my base, I said that I wanted to go with him to church because I wanted to support my father in his ministry. And the people there hadn't seen me in like damn near years to be quite honest. And I grew up in that church, right? So it was a sentimental reason. And also, I did not want to be stuck on a Sunday in the house with her. It is what it is. Like, no shame there. And so he was like, "Yeah, sure, come on." And I had on my leggings and a black shirt, and I was walking around. That's like my little go-to outfit. To be quite honest, I always wear leggings. And she was like, "Oh no, no, for Rosalind, you can't go to church looking like that. You're going to stay here. You can't go like that. Nobody asked her. I want to start there. Nobody's condemned me. Mm. Nobody asked you to tell me what I can and can't do. She's like, the women there, they dress up. The old church mothers, they dress up. They're gonna judge you. They're gonna judge you. Do you think I cared, my Rosalinds and Rosikins? Do you think that actually bothered me? I don't give a f what people think about me, especially on my way to the house of the Lord. What I look like, man, bye. So I found it just very pathetic of her to bring that up. She's like, those tight pants with your butt showing and all that. And my dad, he's more of a peacemaking type of man. He doesn't like all the back and forth. And he's just like, come on. I was the one that had to just suggest to her so she would be quiet. Hey, like, I'm gonna stop at Ross. I'm gonna just get, I'm gonna get a dress from Ross, which I did do before we went to church. He took me there. We stopped. I got the dress, and then we went on our way to church. Right. And yeah, she's just mad, 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 being judgmental, doing too much, trying to get me to stay there. I told her, I'm not staying here. And you know what they hate too? They hate when you tell them in a respectful manner, in assertive manner, I am a grown woman. I don't have to subject my beauty, my lifestyle, anything to you. And also, something else that happened where, so me, as you guys know, I am someone who doesn't really drive at all, and I'm a proud non-car driving person. I'd rather stack up my 401ks and my Roths and my broker accounts and my savings than to be struggling like most of the people my age at 25. F that. Okay. Not having a car allowed me to pay off my student loan debt of 23,000 by 25 this year in March. So I will take that. And people could judge me how they want to, but it's expensive out here and I'm not about to be a fool. I'm not going to debt again, and it is what it is. If I get a car, it's gonna be paid with cash, and I'm determined. So when I went home, I don't really drive, but my dad was very sick because he's older too, and he takes care of my mother, right? And so I literally, he asked me, well, when the first day I got there, we went and came back from the hospital. He was not good enough to drive, so I drove us home at night, and it was kind of sprinkling a little bit outside too. And he was like, okay, you did well, you did well. And then the next day I told him, hey, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there, I'm going to pick up some things to the house so I can clean it. And he just gave me the car keys, let me drive, right? The day my mother gets out of the freaking hospital and when we come back, I go to get them food and whatnot. You know what she tells me? You know what she tells me? Don't be out too late. Make sure you come back soon. First of all, last time I checked, the only person paying the car note is your husband and my father, respectfully. Second of all, you're sick. Shouldn't you be focused on getting better than judging me and tell me what I can and can't do? Like I don't have a goddamn brain between both ears on my forehead, or well, not forehead, but on my head. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't. And then third of all, if I want to be out late as hell, I can. But you know what? Since I'm a respectful young woman, I'm not gonna do that because I don't take advantage of my parents. So again, it's just the audacity for me. Every time it's always the audacity. It never ever escapes me. And then when I talked to her on the phone, she was crying about how I don't call her, how she misses me. That narcissistic bullshit when they victimize themselves. Oh, I know I wasn't always the best mother, but nobody gave me a handbook to mothering. It just irritates me. It just literally vexes my spirit. I swear to God, nobody vexes my spirit like my mother. Because I realized that you're toxic AF. You're also broken AF. And, I have sympathy and empathy for my mother, and I always have. And I still do, which is why I will not go in the way that I could go in, the way that a lot of young daughters go in on their mothers because they're not with the bullshit. But I respectfully tell you, I'm not with the bullshit. And my heart goes out to all of you exoticals that have a toxic ass mother, whether that is your birth, your adoptive, whomever she is in your life that has raised you and that you had to look up for your womanhood. And that's why for me, a lot of the things I learned about my beauty, I did not learn from my mother. I learned from myself and from other women that I literally had to research and God led me to in order to be my mentor on into embracing my beauty as a young brown skin slash dark skin exotical. And from like teenage years on up, a lot of life that was spoken into me was not from my mother. It was usually from women in the family around my mother. A lot of like literally, I could write and talk about this for God knows how long, y'all. But I swear to God, it's nothing more damaging to a beautiful, exotical, and a beautiful woman in general than to have a toxic ass mother over you. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't want them problems. I don't want to be around that woman. I love her very much, but I feed her with a long handled spoon because it literally messes with my mental health. It messes with my self esteem. It messes with my self worth. It messes with my intelligence. It messes with a lot of things within me. Like to the point where I had other women, even in our church when I was growing up, telling me, your mother's this, your mother's that, you're a good girl, you're a good girl. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Even my stepfather told me, she just is the way she is, but you can't take it personal. He even hinted that she was jealous of me, like, and one day I asked him, like, what do you mean? Like, why do you think that is? And he says, like, you're a attractive young lady. You have a lot going for yourself, etc., etc. And it wasn't in some type of weird way, but it was a father recognizing his daughter's beauty and the things that I possessed that are powerful for me and that help me. And a lot of times now, looking back on growing up with my stepfather, which I consider my father because he raised me and my sister since we were like in fifth grade and up, was that I don't know where I would be if I didn't have a male role model in the house to combat her combativeness and her jealousy and her envy because she's too much. She's too much to handle. And I thank God for my father every day because he takes care of her and she is alive to the point where I'm even wondering how can we get her to have a different caretaker because I even feel like, and this is so bad to say, and I wish I didn't have to say this, but that she's making him sicker with her toxic behavior. Every day it's an argument. For what? And she's the one arguing. Every day she's disrespecting something. Nothing's ever good enough for her. And it's the same unambiguous black women like that who swear to God, nobody loves me. I'm a victim all my life. I don't know why, your kids, they just distance themselves from you. They're so ungrateful. Go enjoy your life, etc., etc. Don't have kids. Da, 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 da. Not that she necessarily said don't have kids, but she always tells prioritize other things other than kids, which I understand now as a grown woman. So I give her that. But the point is that these same women are the same ones talking about how they're viewed as ugly, how they're viewed as unattractive, how nobody wants them. But then they have people, and my dad, I feel like no, I don't feel like he is. He's a darker skinned exotical. I swear to God, his like mother, was a very light skinned woman. She's beautiful too, and his dad was a dark skinned man. And on his mother's side, he had Cherokee and Indian, literally. So he has an indigenous black mix to him as well, more so than me, in regards to the Native American heritage. I'm pretty sure, but he has curly, natural curly hair. Like he's just a very attractive black man. But I believe he's an exotical. That's what I believe. I just think so. So the point is that she's very like combative, and it's like nobody wants to be around that. So he's an exotical, a brown to dark skin, well, I'll say dark skin exotical, a black man. The point is though that these same women, Hmm. Please excuse the language. I'm just very passionate and vexed even talking about this out loud. It's just a goddamn shame. Be bitching and moaning about how they are just so unwanted. Meanwhile, their families adore them. I love her so much, but I will be damned if I become like her. Because becoming like her means that I have given up on my beauty. I have literally made my problem the world's problem. Nobody really wants to be around me because I have so much negative energy. And then on top of that, I'm ungrateful AF, even though I swear to God, I'm so grateful. Like, how, Sway? How? So, I don't know, just hearing that segment really vexed me and it just like resonated like a mother trucker because it's things like that that a lot of people just don't understand unless you've been through it. I mean, comment below if you have a toxic mother, whether you're a brown, dark skin exotical, a light skin exotical, even an unambiguous black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like any of you who listen to this video have a toxic ass mother. You exactly understand what I'm talking about. The gaslighting, the amnesia when they forget how they abused you in certain ways, the emotional, physical abuse, the the judgment, the sexualizing of you, the making the fact that your relationships might not end well with men a you problem. Like, what's wrong with? I literally had her tell me one time when I told her that me and my ex had broken up when I was like a teacher. Yeah, I was a teacher at the time. She was like, "What's for Rosalind? What's wrong with you? Why do your relationships always fail?" Like, excuse the hell out of me. Like, you're asking me what's wrong with me with my relationships? Like, it's just crazy. It's insane. It's so insane. And they're just so observant over what you care about. And I realized, like, even when my sister, who also is another brown skin exotical, was talking to my mom about freaking, like, hey, like, oh, hey mom, like, I'm glad you're out of the hospital, etc. Tell me why my mother literally takes off her freaking wig after my sister says, "You look nice." Because, she's saying, like, she looks like she's recovering well, right? Because she's sick. And it's like, well, and because my sister also shows her hair, she just got it done. And then my mom takes off her wig and is like, "Look at me, I look a mess." Like, well, I mean, I don't know what to say to that because I just don't know what to say to that. I mean, I find it interesting how unambiguous black women, when they are around a pretty exotical, they feel the need to at times demean themselves. At least in my mom's situation, she always does this. Whenever me and my sister get shine for our beauty, she always talks about how she lacks beauty. And I just find it so fucking annoying because I shouldn't have to feel like I can't be praised for my beauty around my mother, right? And it's not every single goddamn moment, like every second. It's majority of the time she does. And I'm not just gonna let that shit go because it gets to me. Even when I told her about my ex toxic boyfriend, like, and about how we did not like end well and how he was literally still stalking me after I broke up with him. And she's like, "Oh, and I had to get a restraining order on him, right? I had to get a no contact order." And she was like, "For Rosalind, you must have did something to that boy to make him, like, still be like all up on you like that." Like, what does that even fucking mean? Like, what are you insinuating here? What are you insinuating? And then my sister is always being referred to as a whore by her, like, literally, because she let's see, because she's a bigger girl, and that's why I say I have no judgment towards bigger girls, because she's still pretty though, right? But health is a big thing too, and she's working on that. But my mother literally told her multiple times throughout her childhood, and even now as a grown ass woman, no man wants you other than for sex, and that's about it, because you got your big boobs and your big ass, and nobody wants you seriously. And recently my sister told me that my mom has said, "You think you look good? You don't look good. Like, do you look in the mirror? You don't look good at all. Like, when people tell you look good, they're lying to you." Like, who the fuck says shit like that? Like, literally, who says shit like that? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, literally, I have so many goddamn stories, bro. And this is exactly why I am the way I am about my Rosalynds and Rosakins. That's why I say guard your beauty, guard yourself, trust no one. Because for me, who needs enemies when you have a mother like that? Who really does? I don't need an enemy. I don't need trolls. I already have one. Like, literally came with it. Like, what? Raised by one. So, like, for me, it just triggers me so fucking bad. Especially as a brown cis dark skin exotical raised by an unambiguous black woman, because you have certain features that she just doesn't possess, right? You have certain things about you that fucking, like, makes you stand out beauty wise to African American men. Not that you want the male gaze, but you get it. And you have a lot of dating options because they see that you are similar in certain ways to other women, but there's something different about your beauty in regards to you versus unambiguous black women. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said in my last video, beauty is beauty. I don't give a fuck if you got 4C, 4Z. I don't care. If you have a bigger nose, I mean, look at Rihanna. She got a bigger nose too, but it lines up with her proportional face. I mean, who's throwing rocks over here at a beautiful Afrocentric woman? I'm the fuck not. Okay. So for me, I don't care about all that. I just wanted my mom, right? I just wanted my mother. I just wanted her. And it just sucks because you're attractive and you have the male gaze, how it can make a woman so fucking bitter that she treats you like some bitch off the street rather than your own daughter, right? And I don't know, you guys. I hate it here. I literally hate it here because it just does something to you. How you see some women that have great relationships with their mother, I cannot fucking relate. I barely talk to her because she's so toxic. I don't want her toxic energy rubbing off on me. I don't want her, negative words and curses hurled my way, right? And there's so many layers to this that it cannot be given only in one video. So I'm going to stop here, but just know if you come from a background similar to mine's in regards to having a toxic mother that is always trying to compete with you or just put you down because she knows she can't compete with you at all, I feel for you. I'm so sorry. And it's not your fault. And you are beautiful. You are intelligent. You will be successful. You are successful. You will be wealthy. You are not broke. You are not broken. You are healed. God has a plan for your life. The Lord loves you. I love you. Your angels protect you. Your ancestors stand up for you. No matter what happens, you are covered and you are a daughter of Yah Himself. Okay? You are a queen of your own queendom. You do not need her approval. You do not need her A-OK. You can be independent, strong. You can also be feminine and gentle. You can still have compassion. You can still seek to heal others even when parts of you are broken. You have so much going for you that it intimidates even the woman who was supposed to nurture you throughout your womanhood but couldn't because you were too great. I want you to know that no matter where you find yourself in your relationship with your mother, that you are the Lord's daughter, if nothing else. You are Oshun's daughter, if nothing else. You are someone's daughter. Because I also want to add that even though I didn't have my mother the way that I know I should have had her throughout my life, I had so many other women that were older than me pouring into me, encouraging me when I was at my lowest. And I thank God for them because they mothered me. And I also had to learn to mother myself. And so I dedicate this to all of the motherless children and daughters out there because nothing hurts worse than a mother wound because you want to be made in her likeness. But she even can see the difference between you as a brown, dark skinned exotical of any shade versus her and how she's treated in society. And I'm so sorry. With that, my Rosalinds and Rosakins, we will talk about more of this. I'm pretty sure this is not the last video on toxic mothers, but I love you so much and may God bless you.